Guys, we're back, and we've brought another friend. This time, much prettier than our last.
Well, he was pretty.
Yeah, he's a pretty boy.
That's questionable.
Very good.
So this is a great friend of mine.
1 second. Do you think we should remove the alcohol?
Well,
Do you mind?
do you want to retain the alcohol?
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
I think so.
Yeah, okay.
You said you're a little
Definitely in New
nervous,
Zealand.
Yeah.
so have a little wine.
Yeah.
It's south of France. Go for it. I won't be having any. I hope that's okay.
No problem. That's lovely.
Shall I give people a little bit of background?
I think so.
So Mila
Hello.
Matsev, if I'm pronouncing that correctly,
Pretty
because
good.
I just know you as Mila, is a great friend of mine and has been. I've been here 5 years, so right from the beginning. And Mila has carved out a career as one of like the preeminent go-to people for property in Monaco, which is like probably. Am I correct in saying it's the world's most expensive property market?
Still is, absolutely, yeah. It's,
Which is kind
number
of
one.
an achievement, right, for a young girl like yourself.
I hope so.
Well, for
I think so.
anyone of young
Yeah.
years, I should say.
Yeah.
Especially when you consider the background.
Which is like, you know, the background is fascinating. I think we should, you know, almost dive
Make
straight.
it sound like there's like dirt in there. But it's
You said
there
it.
isn't. There
not,
isn't.
not at all. But the reason why Matthew and I thought Mila would be like an interesting guest for you guys is because she's just a good talker. But also because I think Monaco, a lot of people, it's a bit of an enigma, right? Like everyone's heard of it. It's kind of got like Hollywood style status, and there's, you know, the numbers are astronomical, and you know everyone knows about the property. But
But plus, people in New Zealand, we're all into property in New Zealand, pretty
New
much.
Zealanders and Australians
Yeah.
love property. And I think it would be a really fascinating insight to somebody who's has been. Mila's now retired from property and is an entrepreneur, moved into other stuff, which we'll get to. But I just think it's a fascinating insight into a place that no one really knows that much
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
But in order to do that, you know, to achieve what you've achieved, I think it's probably a nice idea to discuss a little bit about your background, because like your story is like very impressive.
To you.
I think
No,
I don't
to
know.
us.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think to everybody.
I'm trying to stay humble. So I'm Russian. Not very popular to be from these days, but you know, we're kicking. We've moved around. Moved around for most of my growing up with my family.
What
parents,
part of Russia?
Siberia. The
Ooh,
cold part.
Shiver me timbers. That's freezing there, isn't it?
It's
It's like
special.
100, like 80 below zero or 50 or what is it?
I mean, I haven't measured myself, but probably around 40, 50 in the
Below zero.
winters. Yeah.
That's chilly.
It's you know, we don't have this problem here.
No.
No, it's really, really cool in the sense that I've been there, like obviously as a grown up. It's a beautiful place. Like if you go there in the summers and
Siberia?
it's insane. Like
Are there people in Siberia?
there are plenty, some bears and
Yeah.
Chow chows?
apparently, right? We're big fans. We left eventually. We were just actually talking about that, and we migrated to Israel. And just before we left, my father managed to find some person to sell all of our possessions to, in forms of, you know, to receive payment with diamonds, right? So we can smuggle them in.
Is that because you couldn't leave Russia
you
with
couldn't leave,
money?
you couldn't take any possessions.
When was this? What do you remember? What year?
God, it must have been 89, 90.
Wow.
Showing my age.
So that was when Russia was
a
still
baby.
like severely communist.
No, it's just turned over into just the
Like
fall of
Western.
the
Okay.
exactly the Iron Wall and all that curtain. Anyway, so that's when you were able to leave, and anybody that could leave was just jumping on the opportunity. Are we good?
Yeah.
Just making sure.
Yep.
Sorry.
No, because I don't see it flicking anymore. Oh, okay, no, it is. Okay, sorry.
Have you got
watching
ADD?
the flick. No, but now that I'm with you too, maybe I
Are
do.
you sure?
Yeah.
I think
I reckon you're on the
it's
spectrum.
contagious.
Maybe. Maybe.
Maybe. I mean, I'm dyslexic. Does that count?
So you're dyslexic as well?
Slightly.
Wow.
Just with numbers, like if I say 34, I can write like 43. You know what I mean? Like
Okay, that must be pretty hard when you're a real estate agent.
No,
Especially
I mean,
the
I
numbers.
double check things. I'm an accountant too, so I'm, you know, I'm.
But you're probably
I'm
dealing
aware.
with like a lot of zeros, so...
I'm fine. Like I remember numbers.
So you just throw zeros on the end of it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what's in front as long as there's a whole bunch of zeros, like
Okay.
in Monaco.
So get back to... So Russia to Israel.
Yeah, so we basically, my dad sold everything we have as some diamonds, but he almost got arrested. The cops were after him, so he threw the diamonds into the snow, and everything we had just went, you know. Lucky, because he did get arrested 5 minutes later. They did release him after an investigation and shortly because they didn't find any evidence, and we fled the next day. And
Fled to where?
Israel. We moved to Israel.
And how old were you?
I was little. I was a baby at the time. I think I wasn't
Like a baby,
couple of years old.
Okay.
And then the war started over there. Obviously, the Gulf War.
Okay.
And we found ourselves in, you know, obviously with no money, with no nothing, immigrants in a new country with a war. You know, finding yourself in shelters with gas masks and things, and you know, it's
How many siblings were your parents moving around with?
so eventually we were 5, but in the start with we were 3. Yeah, we were
Wow.
little. And then my dad became, you know, tried to, you know, survive. We lived in a caravan, a mobile home.
Whereabouts in Israel?
God, we lived in the area where it was like least protected because it was the cheapest. So we had, you know, the Arab settlements and the Jewish settlements all mixed up.
So whereabouts roughly? Like
Just around Jerusalem, like
Okay.
in the questionable area.
Okay, but on
you
the
know
Arab
what?
side.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, in between side, kind of like taken by force side.
Oh, so the Israelis.
Yeah, they've
Yeah.
gained land and gave away with every war. You know, it's
Okay.
quite a hefty history. But yeah, it's not the safest place where we lived. But do you know what? We had the best childhood. Like, we didn't care. And that's an amazing thing about children. Like, they're so, you know...
Resilient.
And as long as we're happy. And I remember it was like Christmas time. And it was amazing because we were like... My parents, like, for Christmas, they bought the Choco Pops. Like, the cereal that was... You remember the Choco Pops?
Cocoa Pops.
Cocoa Pops, whatever they were.
Yeah, love Cocoa
And,
Pops.
yeah, but the actual brand, not like the store.
Kellogg's Cocoa Pops.
Yes.
Proper ones.
For Christmas morning.
Wow.
And we woke up and we see this and we're like,
Happy days.
wow, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and we were just so happy because that was happening, you know? We're never cold or hungry, but at the same time, we're
Poor.
very poor.
Yeah.
Very,
What did your
very
father
poor.
do?
Well, my dad is a doctor in chemistry, and you know, then he became a guard in a factory at night, walking around like, you know. My mom became a cleaner. It was
Did your father speak his
nothing.
Hebrew?
No.
So your mum and dad didn't speak Hebrew before they
No.
went to Israel?
No.
And you obviously didn't because you were a
But
baby?
we picked up as kids, you know. After you start talking, you straight away go, you know,
Yeah.
all of my
There are a
language.
lot of Russians.
About 1 million migrated at the
Really?
time over a few years.
So what year was that, roughly?
90, I think.
1990.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Do,
very.
do you
very
think,
different
like,
stuff.
the reason I find it such a fascinating story is because, you know, we've already sort of given a like, bit of a teaser is that you've wound up here,
Yes.
carving out this incredible career, starting businesses. And I think, like,
I think when you're immigrant, sorry, I cut you
No,
off
no,
there.
no.
But I think there is a beauty about, and I loved Australia for that as well because I lived in Australia for many years.
Whereabouts?
Sydney,
Great city.
Yes.
Whereabouts in the city?
Rose Bay, and then, like
Oh,
Northern
geez.
Beaches, North Bondi.
Oh, fun.
Did you live there on your own?
Yeah. I lived there. I went to uni there actually. Shout out to Macquarie.
Wow.
I did my second degree there in accounting.
Wow.
But I lived in Rose Bay, so it was like an hour and a half. I like to live in nice places.
Yes. A nice
So
place.
a long way from a caravan
Yeah.
in the immigrant areas.
Yeah.
which leads me to my question because, like, people who we always talk about this, you know, adversity and how it shapes people's lives. And do you think that is part of what has, like, formed or helped you have this enormous drive and ambition? And did you
I think
have that naturally, or do you think it was like?
I think I saw my family lose and build up and lose and build up so much, and my dad, like, you know, he's then built up so many businesses and tried, and you know, he still is like an incredible human, what he can do. But like suddenly you'd be like 1 month you're so rich and you're in Paris, you know, with your family, and the next like 6 months later, boom, they were the big spenders in the way of like, you know, they want to live the life to the fullest because you kind of never know what's going to happen. And Israel builds up in you as well. I don't know. Have you ever been to Israel?
Never.
No.
Yeah, it's
In
one of those.
what way?
Because I think that it's kind of built into you that, you know, you never know what's going to happen. And we all lost family, friends, you know, everybody goes to the army, and it's a tough place to live in.
Do girls go through the army as well?
Yes,
So you went
I
through
didn't
the
know.
army.
No, I left before. But, you know, it's one of the classes in high school. You have Krav Maga, you know, like I can shoot any gun there is.
What's
you know,
it called?
Like,
Krav Maga.
Krav Maga is the Israeli combat. What's it called? Do you know, it's like a... It's like
Is it like karate?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I've never heard
In
of that.
simple words. Yeah, it's quite... it's developed by, like, you know, the Israelis special forces.
So what do you call it?
It's
Like
like how to get-
self-defense.
Yeah, it's self-defense, but it's particularly because it's apparent. I mean, I don't remember much of it, but I remember having it in high school and like how to get yourself out of like sticky situations, you know, to
Okay.
protect
But with
yourself.
guns.
No. This is just self-defense.
Hand-to-hand combat.
Could that be quite-
Exactly, but that was
would be like-
part of like PE classes. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah.
And why do you think they did that? Just because of the threat
Just
of the Arab
life
nations?
we live in.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Standing of alarms. You know, like if you see, you know, if I don't know, I have this kind of special skill I've developed of like emergency noticing things that are out of ordinary. When you leave that, your whole life, you.
So you were always on edge.
No, I just see it. You know, I
Okay.
can see if there's like a bag left by someone somewhere on the trail. I'll be like,
Okay.
like I can sense
Like a
it.
sixth sense. But also that sense of
All Israelis have that.
living for the moment too, right?
Yeah, it's quite. It's an incredible place to be in. The life for like the appreciation for life, because it's not taken for granted. Not in that place, you know.
So what made you move to Monaco?
Well, I moved to England first, then I went to uni there, then I moved to Australia, spent a few years there. And then I actually came here on a holiday. I missed Europe. I love Australia, but, you know, I remember when I first came here and I rented...
Here being Monaco or south
Well,
of
first I
France?
came south of France,
Yeah.
sorry, yeah. So I moved to Nice first. And
Which
I,
is an incredible city.
Great, just
Yeah.
down the road,
Yes.
20 minutes down the road.
Yeah.
And I rented a flat in this building, and you know how here buildings have carved out the year that they were,
Yes.
you know, built.
Built.
And I'm standing there, and it's just like 1790, and I'm thinking, was Australia discovered? Like, and here I am standing at a building. I've been like seen so much history, you know.
Yeah. That's
I
what's
just find that
amazing
it's-
about Europe, yeah?
Yeah, so I missed that. So I came here on a holiday, and one of those work and holiday visas you get as a kid, you know. And I liked it, so I thought, I'll miss my flight back to Australia, and that was 10 years ago.
So there wasn't
Stayed a
any,
bit longer.
no great plan.
Nothing. But that's what happens when you're a gypsy at heart. Nothing stops you. You just come to a place, you want to stay there, you find a way. you know?
Yeah. So did you do a property degree or...
You're not required here as long as you have a degree and you meet certain criteria, and it's the agency in Monaco that has the license for.
Okay.
And then
So how
it's
did you
levels
get-
of experience.
How did you get a job here? Like, and why did you
They
end
gave
up here?
Yeah, I mean, somebody knew somebody, and I thought, okay, I'm going to stay here. I need to get a job. We talked about me not being into old men and with
Can we
big
go-
pockets.
Yeah.
So I had to work.
Which is kind of the norm here, isn't it, really?
Well, no, let's not say that. I don't think that's
Okay,
fair. Come on. No, I mean, a
yeah, I
lot of
think
my
it is.
girlfriends have jobs.
Yeah, yeah.
But, you know,
I think it's a lot more normal here than people would expect. Would that be fair to say? To a degree.
girls with jobs. Or
No, I just mean.
I think it
life.
attracts. I mean, it is quite a wealthy area. It attracts a certain crowd, and I guess they have certain wants and needs, and then that attracts supply and demand kind of situation. So if there's lots of men here that are after a certain type of women, and that might attract the women to come to the place. But I don't know that it's much different from London or
No, I don't think so.
Dubai or anywhere where you find wealthy men. So I think I could get a little bit of a
But it'd be
background.
fair to say that, excuse me, but that Russian women do have a, what do you call it? What's the word?
Reputation?
Reputation for
This will be good to hear your response.
a reputation for like hunting out like a wealthy man, be it older,
think-
younger, or whatever.
I mean, it's a bit pleading the fifth on it, if you will, but I feel like beautiful women, and there are Eastern European women, are attractive in the eyes of, humanity, older men, if you will.
Yes.
And, I mean, I don't know what it is. I I guess, stereotype
Yeah.
for beautiful girls, you know, kind of opting for a more comfortable life rather than, you know.
But you never went down that track. And
Never.
you're obviously a striking woman, so you never went down that track, but you went down the real estate track, right?
I did. I had to work for myself and build it all up, and I mean, I've had a great time. I have to say. I mean, I literally came here completely by chance and did not expect to even work in real estate. You know how real estate in Australia is just something you do between jobs. Like it's not like a.
Do you
something
think like that? I mean,
I
I don't know
think
about
Australia. I think Australia and New Zealand, it's like there's a lot of people that are into real estate. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
But individuals themselves, not as a profession, just their own people, right?
Yeah, but I think if you say you're a real estate agent in New Zealand or Australia, that's a well-respected job.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
know, like, and people think,
it's
oh, wow, he's a real estate agent. Like, well, he must be, you know, like the feeling is you're well-to-do, I guess, you know.
Well, yeah, well, if you do well in it, you can do very well, and
Yeah.
it's a viable career path, you know, because to do well in it, you got to really apply yourself and kick
Yeah.
ass.
But to do well in real estate in Monaco
That's very
would
different.
be difficult,
Yeah,
I would
talk us
imagine.
through
So
that.
that's,
I think it's well. Again, I haven't been. I've stopped doing it full time a year ago, and I mean, to be fair, we talked about that, and it's just like I feel like I've conquered everything I wanted to, and then,
Yeah.
you know, I had other projects on the run, and
Yeah.
I decided to give them a go. But it's very, very different in the sense that everything just adds. Like you just have to add a few more zeros almost.
Yeah.
And now I was telling David the other day, you know, you'd be sitting there negotiating a deal, and I remember having a call walking through a supermarket, just getting my, you know, end of day kind of shopping, and the client called and we were talking about whether a deal is profitable, not like it's, you know, if it's a good value or not, and I'm standing there, you know, and saying, yes, 52 million is a steal for this property, you know, it's, you cannot
is
do better.
euros.
You need to, euros, sorry, that's what, about
It's about
100
100
million.
New Zealand
Kiwi.
dollars.
Yeah,
and-
yeah, yeah.
So you're kind of standing there, and you know you have your spiel, and 100% like that. I've built my career based on being absolutely honest, and you know you're only as good as your last deal. You know your reputation is everything here. There's not a lot of people here, so and 99% of my business is recommendations from one to another client. So. You have to stay with it. So, you know, you're having this conversation and, you know, and then you're looking at, you know, you finish that and you look at I was buying some tomatoes. I'm thinking €5.59 a kilo. You know, they must be freaking kidding me. Like,
Gold in the tomatoes.
yeah.
Yeah.
What are you doing here? So it's just, you know, it's such a different world where, you know, and it's such a small place.
Yeah, I was going to say, for a bit of context for people who are listening and don't know much about Monaco, because, you know, I certainly didn't know a huge amount before I came up this way. You know, Monaco is 2 square kilometres.
Which is this, I've Googled it today. It's the size of Hyde Park plus the Kensington
Yeah,
Gardens.
it's the whole country.
That's
is.
just
Yeah.
the middle park in central city. That's the whole country.
The population is what? More
But,
or
so
less.
we have about almost 40,000 residents, and we have about 8,000 Monegasques, so that's about it.
Yeah, so it's
Just
high
under 50,
density.
50.
And
Okay.
explain
Yeah.
what the Monegasques are.
They're unicorns.
Unicorns.
If you want to come back, if we can come back with something next life, you want to be a dolphin or a Monegasque.
Really?
Basically. That's like.
But a Monegasque is...
It's its own. I mean, it's a principality. So we have a prince, and it's its own country. Every time I travel somewhere, and people look at it, you know, a couple of times coming back from South Africa, they're like, "Is that Morocco?"
Yeah. But the Monegasques are like the natural born citizens
Yes,
of
they're,
the country, right?
Yes, there's only about, I don't know, what, 8,000-9,000 of them. I didn't check the last count.
And most of the Monegasques, they work in
They're subsidized by the country in the sense of either
police,
working,
hospitals.
mostly within the government department.
Yeah. And they're all like, they're looked after. So like if a Monegasque wants
You
to
pay
buy
10% of
wants to
what-
buy a property, you pay 10% of what.
Now they buy within their own network, sorry,
Yeah.
but when they rent something, they probably pay about 10% of what we would pay the
That's
residents.
incredible, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane.
Let's come back as Monegasques.
Yeah, can we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better than a
Dolphins
bald
too.
eagle.
So like the square meter price of real estate in New Zealand is roughly what? Maybe
Yeah, we worked that
We
out.
looked it up before, and it was about 6,000 Kiwi dollars
For a meter.
a square meter, and the average price here is about 100,000 New
New
Zealand
Zealand
dollars.
dollars.
A
So
square meter.
that's a big difference.
It's a huge difference.
It's very, very different. Do you want to know why?
Yeah, of course.
Well, first of all, our land is very scarce. So we, as we said, we have 2 square kilometers, size of a park, really.
Yeah.
And such, amount of people living here. And we do have a very, very favorable taxation system. So that does attract people. I think historically that's what brought people here for favorable tax brackets. If you lived here, you then we don't pay basically income tax is where I'm at.
But that's not so much the case now.
It's attracting families. It's attracting, in the past you could fake living here. You could rent a place here, live somewhere else, and that's no longer the case. People really have to live here. So especially the numbers for, I've sent you some stats before. It's more the bigger flats that are almost driving the market as well.
And a lot of that's driven by security, right? Global security. Is that fair to say?
There is a lot of that. So then when there's, unstable, disasters even almost happening in the world, we do see that brings people back to Monaco because it's so secure. I think we have like a policeman per I don't know how many people, but it's something crazy.
There's no crime in Monaco, pretty much.
Very little, and if there is, it's investigating, caught very, very.
And it's super
quickly.
tidy, super clean. You never see any litter, nothing,
And,
right?
I had somebody chase me 3 blocks from a restaurant because I left my wallet on the table. It's just so normal. I left my sunnies. I used to have sunglasses with correction in them, so I went to the Lost and Find because they're so hard to get. They're so precious to you. So I went to get
I've gone
it.
through shitloads of sunglasses. I tell
No,
you.
but I go there and I'm like, excuse
Don't
me.
leave your sunnies in LA.
But
You definitely don't get them back.
There's a huge box, and then she gives it to you, and she's like, take anything you like, and you're like, let me see what you've got in here. It's just such a safe, wonderful place. My friends' kids can go to their friends, like we did when we were kids, just to
In Siberia?
hang out. Well, in the old days, probably not there, but in Israel for sure.
But in terms of carving out a career, coming
Yes.
the story of what you've encountered, what you've been through, the countries you've lived in, to wind up not only living in Monaco, but being successful at what you do and dealing with the sorts of the high net worth clients that you do. What are some of the things you've seen or learned along the way? What are stories that people would find fascinating? Because I just think it's eye-watering, some of the things you hear about and see in a place like this.
Here, you do have all sorts of people, like anywhere really, but I've had situations where somebody rents a villa in France and they call me up at 2:00 in the morning, and for some reason I didn't put it on silent, so I'm answering because I'm thinking they have kids, God, there's an emergency. Their internet went out 2:00 in the morning.
They called you?
She called me. She's like, my internet's not working.
So they expect service to the nth degree.
I'm just saying there are some people that are a little bit,
Precious.
yes,
Snobby.
but that is, to my surprise, that is such a small percentage that most of the people I've worked here with have been the most inspiring, kind people that obviously a lot of them become my friends. And
Mila knows everybody in this
Well,
place. You do. You walk down the street with you,
few
and everyone
people.
knows you. And I think to
been here
convert
long.
a client to a friend, and a genuine friend, is you can't fake that, can you? They don't have to choose to continue to have a relationship with you. So
No, that's
I think
true.
that speaks probably a bit to your success as to why you are so good at what you do.
God,
But you're
love you
a
as
people
friend.
person, right?
I think so.
Yeah. So, you obviously speak Russian.
Yes.
You immigrated to
Hebrew.
Israel.
Yeah.
You speak Hebrew. You came to France.
Yeah, I learned some French.
You speak fluent French, and you speak English,
Yeah.
which is kind of the norm for over here. If you only speak one language here, people look at you like
You
you're
feel a
odd.
bit silly, don't you?
Well, you do.
But that's different to the new generation. My best mate, her kids, they're only little. They're fluent in 4 languages and taking
incredible.
Spanish and fluent and taking other languages in school. That's just the norm now.
Which is for New Zealanders,
yeah.
because we live, we're at the bottom end of the world pretty much, and all we speak is English, and we don't hear any other languages. If a French person comes to New Zealand, there's nobody they can speak French to.
No, we just
if they
don't
go
need
to a
to,
bar,
right?
but there's no one that speaks French. The same if, a Japanese person or a Chinese person, you can't go up to a New Zealand guy and start speaking Chinese or French or whatever. It's just like we're looking at you like, what?
Yeah.
You know, which is amazing here. That's
Yeah.
why it's an incredible place to live. Really, it's so diverse.
Are you enjoying it?
I love it. Yeah, but I don't
Well,
speak
he's not
French.
in Monaco.
We just spoke about it. How do you get by without speaking French, like on the French side? Because people are quite
Yeah, but in the south,
standoffish.
pretty much everybody speaks English, and as soon as they realise that you can try and speak French, and they know that you don't, as soon as you say a few words, they know that your mother tongue is not French, and they just bust into English because they want to practice their English. So that's why France has changed so much from the first time came to France in '90, I think. Like
must have been different. They were
nobody
not so...
spoke English.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
you
know?
can definitely get by here on English alone.
Yeah.
I have a friend here. I don't know, are we allowed to say names? Anyway, been here for over 20 years, had businesses here, had hotels here, doesn't speak a word of English, French, sorry.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah, that's a common story here.
Bonjour.
That is a really good... Like, there's people that have lived here for like 20 years, and they don't speak any French.
I have this urge every time I get to a country, and there's not many countries I haven't been to. Again, this is a gypsy seed.
But you've lived in most of them.
Oh, no, but just visiting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had this is funny little meme. My sister sent me. We laugh, with ourselves, and it was like a Russian going through passport control, and they're like, "So your name, such and such, occupations?" Like, no, just visiting. So bad. You might have to cut that out. Actually. We're a bit rough, but no, I haven't lived in all of them. But just like even traveling South America, I did that for like 4 months, and you just pick it up. You just have to, I find
But that's
that
because
polite.
your brain's wired to it, right? Like, so for
Try. It's important for me to try. For some reason, I wanna.
Yeah.
I have that.
No, I try. I just must be thick.
I try.
But you're good.
Yeah, but you speak.
No, you came here when you were 18, right? So like,
You speak.
Yeah, enough.
yeah,
enough
like-
to get by.
Oh, you speak heaps.
But
Back
talking
to,
about, again, Monaco and property and things
Yeah.
like that, like I was doing a bit of research, and I think last year alone there were like 4 sales over 100 million euros
can you imagine?
for like single properties.
Just
Would
one
they
of
be like
them.
apartments, or like there are hardly any
Some of-
houses here, right?
Well, there are some. So we're running out of space. So we have built. This is the second kind of extension to the sea, which you can see out here.
Like the island.
Pardon?
The island.
Yes. So it's not officially an island. Obviously,
No.
you can cross into. Maybe like there's a way to access it. But yeah, it's reclaimed land that they went into and created a whole new suburb. And
But when you say it's reclaimed land, like it was ocean.
It was ocean.
It was ocean. Like
it's the second actually reclaimed land. Fontvieille didn't exist either. They made that in the 80s.
Second port.
But when I say ocean, like it was like 8,
Nothing.
9,
It finished
10
here
meters
now.
deep.
Suddenly,
It's
they need to change all the globes and maps because we're now,
Yeah, you're
it's a
actually
different
like
shape.
you're building. It's not like you're like building on like the seafront.
No.
You're building in the ocean.
Yeah.
You go into
and
the-
you look
yeah.
at the cliffs, like up behind us, it's like that into the sea. So
Yeah.
it's not like they're just sort of dropping a few concrete
Yeah.
blocks. That took, 15 years to get above the water, I think.
I didn't see them
A long, long
first.
time. But you
Yeah.
were telling me the other day about some of the crazy numbers there, which is fast. Like, it's
Man.
mind-blowing,
I mean, not only
like unrelatable
It's
to
not
everybody.
only there; it's everywhere. And I think, I've done visits for apartments that rent for. Well, right now, well, not right now, but just before I left real estate, but for people with budgets of, and we visited places for 300,000 a month
Euro.
euro.
Yeah.
That's rent.
Yeah, that's not to buy. That's
A
300,000
month.
euro. a
So
month,
that's
like,
what? That's
crazy.
600, roughly.
Roughly
Close
600k.
to- it's-
Maybe
Yeah.
550k New Zealand a month, so that makes it a year what, 6 million.
Yeah, 7.2.
I mean, you can
7.2
buy
Kiwi.
half of what.
But you can't, like, if you were to buy a 1-bedroom apartment with a view here, like in a 1-bedder, it's tiny here, right? Like it's what, 50 square meters? Is it 50?
They average for a 1-bedroom here, but the average doesn't include renovated. All of the ticks. You're going to get 1 of 2 ticks, but the ticks are renovated, view, parking,
District.
good business, a good location, good building, concierge, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So you're going to tick one or two of them as far as average, and I think 1 bedroom stood at 3.7 million
Euro.
for last year. Yeah,
Yeah, for
small,
a,
but
for
that
a shoebox.
shoebox, mind you, mine actually ironically filled with shoes.
Yeah.
Funny that.
I don't think anyone will be surprised to hear
Yeah.
that.
No.
But how do you like work in amongst that and meet these people and deal with these figures and not get lost in it?
Man, it's the kindest people, I have to say. I mean, I've been so lucky. Again, like I said, a lot of them became friends. I have so much time for them. They have time for me, and it's been such an amazing experience as far as I was saying to you earlier, I was helping a client to buy an apartment, and we already negotiated, heavily into the deal. And I knew I could go further. You get a hang of things.
You could go further in terms of increasing the price for the buyer.
I was working for the buyer,
and the seller would pay more.
The seller would accept less.
Okay. Sorry. The buyer would.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
The buyer would pay everybody, but and I knew I could take it down another million off. Like, this is was my feeling, and I was very good at those kind of senses. And the buyer, my client, just said to me, "No, don't. I'm happy with the price. I don't want to upset anybody, or even though you think they can go lower, no, I want them to be happy, me to be happy. I'm happy with that. So stop negotiating." And I just didn't know what to do. I've never been in that situation before, and I was like, damn, people are nice.
Yeah.
The more I live, actually, I find that people are actually kind and nice.
So the perception, or at least mine would be, and I think most is that the people at that end of the global scale would be
mean.
Come here, rip off.
Yeah, like
mean, try to get money off people, not pay tax, all that. Monaco attracts. I have a few clients here that still have to pay tax in their countries. They're only living here for the security.
Yeah.
Because they love it here. Their
so
neighbors
the security
are nice.
is really big for people here, with money and stuff.
Yeah, because you do develop insecurities and fears.
Yeah, but you can the thing is you can walk down the streets here at night, like be it 3-4 in the morning.
The police going to come offer you a ride home.
Yeah, you don't.
Happened to me a few times.
You wouldn't even think about it. Like you'd let your daughter walk home from at night time, and not even blink, right?
Oh my God, it's the safest time actually.
Whereas in our countries or any other country in the world, you'd be like, no way,
A metropolitan city.
Yeah, and
you can't imagine having that anymore.
Yeah, it's even though it's small, it's got a big vibe.
But also
always
positive,
a lot of people
we
here.
actually have the navette thing now this summer.
What's that?
Which the princess, one of the princesses has suggested that, and it's working. And they have a free taxi service just riding around all night, and you can just call them up and they take you home if you.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there you go.
Love it.
Yeah, I think it's nice. The government here and everything. We're very well looked after. I know it's an expensive place to live in, and
but not for the monoguests. No. There's a building behind us. It's like, I don't know, 35, brand new, and that's all just for the locals, for the monoguest, and they buy them at like dirt cheap prices, like prices that we would buy them in New Zealand.
Yeah.
But they can only sell them. They can't make a profit on it. If they sell it,
it's quite complicated for them
to
be able to
sell
sell
it to a monoguest. Is that right?
There are some rules around that. Yeah,
okay.
It's quite complicated too.
Yeah.
It's not meant. It's meant to make their life easy and lived here. But a lot of them don't just come and buy. Like it's only a few families. Like you can imagine how little amount of people. So they just inherit a whole bunch of. I met a monogamist. She has like 6 apartments here.
Really?
That she had from since
from her family.
From the 50s, 60s, and she's just selling them off like one by one. And I love it because they're the humblest people, right? At the end of the day.
Oh yeah, the locals I've met here they're so chill.
But even like with my billionaire client that rides the bus and loves it, I find that.
What, he rides the bus?
He loves the bus. He cannot ride the bus anywhere else in the world.
To be honest, I've never seen a bus in Monaco. Are you sure there's buses?
They're fab. They're fab.
Do you ride the bus?
Sometimes. I don't exercise, so I walk.
Okay.
I find that. And I listen to podcasts. I'm a bit of a podcast obsessive.
What's your favourite podcast?
Are you allowed to say? The Brink?
Pay you later.
Yeah.
But no, it's been... I find them to be like... it's such a humble community at the end of the day. Do you agree that if you find somebody just throwing the money around and just being a bit of a, there's not much behind actually.
Generally.
Here.
All over the world. Anyway.
Maybe all over the world.
I think all over the world. I think
here it's just easier to see because it's all concentrated. Whereas the genuine, people with humility and just, you know, being themselves and everything. They're just like a little bit more.
I think if you don't accept that everyone around you has got way more money than you here, you're going to suffer in living in a place like this.
We're all small
you know, and
fishes
if you're flashing around and showing off, you haven't quite figured that out, I think, in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the world over.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, you know.
Well, it's fascinating hearing about it through your eyes, Milla. But you know, so I guess, how many years were you doing property here?
10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus minus.
And then after a while, decided to have a little break.
Yeah. I mean, I'm always a bit. I mean, I either change countries or things. I need a bit of change in my life, and I like to, you know. I think life is all about experiences, you know. And I think that keeps you going. I lived, you know, some 5-6 lifetimes now in different countries. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
So I wanted to act on those projects and couldn't do it working full time. So I decided to take a break from that.
Yeah.
And open my cute little business that I'm working on, which has been a lot of fun.
So tell us about that, because it's like
a little baby of a business. Yeah.
First hearing about it, it's like, what the hell is she doing?
And now.
But then it's like, this is a true hustler. This is cool.
Yeah. So spit it.
Talk us through this new business.
So I'm opening a spa for dogs in Monaco.
Shit, that's a good business, because there's a shitload of dogs in Monaco, right?
3,500
really
registered dogs in Monaco. We have 3 groomers working day and night, and they can only service maybe 10% of the market. So I'm like, hey, that sounds good to me, you know.
And people spend a lot of money on their pets.
Tell us.
Well, my experience.
We have the pet owner here.
Well, we have 2 dogs here, and I will tell you. Chows. So they got a lot of hair. But one of my first and last experiences with a groomer here in Monaco, who was a great groomer, was I got one of the dogs washed and dried, and I think they brushed her as well. And went to pay for it. It was €250.
$500.
$500
for a dog wash.
I didn't even cut the coat.
Like, we have dog washes in New Zealand at the car wash.
Yeah. I was blown away.
It cost you $10.
So the next time they needed a bath, I took them to the car wash and paid €5 and water blasted them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they probably enjoy that more.
They did.
Yeah.
Or
they get whacked off.
You have to plug in a picture of your dogs.
But
They're
if
incredible.
you can offer a better price than €250,
definitely.
But if that's what people are paying,
but it's
you're going to make
because
a fortune.
because they have no choice.
Is it a rub and take dog wash?
I definitely don't think that's
it's not
sort of
I don't think it's that
establishment.
exciting.
No, okay, all right.
No, but also like,
Dirty grandpa over here.
Grandpa.
we talked about.
Jesus Christ. We digress. Sorry about that.
But we talked about that. You know, people would look at the price tag when it comes to themselves. Maybe double glance when it's, you know, or have a little glance when it comes to the children. But when it comes to the pets, it's just, you know, anything goes. And I understand I'm a huge dog lover, but it is a business.
But you don't have a dog, right? You've just looked at
Thanks
numbers.
for bringing that up.
But
I don't,
but you're
because
not washing
I travel.
the dogs yourself, are you? You're
I'm not a dog groomer. I've employed incredible people. I've imported some because, you know, the quality is not quite there yet. And it's not just the washing and the grooming. There are massages, there are masks.
I told you.
It's
See,
a spa.
you're massaging the dogs as well.
It's like a rub and tug.
I have
Right.
a sea view no lesser than this from the shop for the dogs to look at while they're
They're getting a rub
Are you
down,
jealous?
a little tweak, and all that stuff. And
I'm not going to
it's a lazy €250.
I'll be back at the car wash.
Yeah.
No, mates rates.
So
So that's so the business called Doggy Club, because we love a club here.
we'll
Monaco
put a link
loves
to
being
it for people, because we have quite a few people
That's very
who watch
kind,
us in this
very
part of the
kind.
world.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it'd be a bit of a stretch to bring your dog over from New Zealand to get it scrubbed here, wouldn't it?
That would be expensive.
It'll be a little bit more than
Yeah, exactly.
€250 sounds good.
Yeah.
But it's a lovely place to visit. So if anybody does want to come from New Zealand, then, you know.
Cool.
There's a lot of Kiwis here. You're meeting more and more of us every day.
There are a lot of Kiwis here, aren't there?
Heaps of Kiwis.
Yeah. And
That's
Aussies.
totally my favourite fruit. So
Yeah, the kiwi fruit. Super expensive, the kiwi fruit here. You have to buy kiwi fruit here. You buy it one piece, and they're like €3 a kiwi fruit.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, it's like $6 for one kiwi fruit. And they're like...
I'm not sure that's correct.
No, it is. 100%.
Where do you live?
No, like
come to Carrefour over here.
no,
I'll
just
hook you
down,
up.
just down there.
So I'm curious.
It's €3 a piece.
Is it really?
Yeah, I mean, because it's Monaco, right?
But I actually
course.
And
Look
like they're
at
all
that.
like they're rotten as like they're not
I
like the
think
proper
we get
kiwi
really
fruit.
good produce here. It's all from
No, you do,
it's
but
all
not
from
kiwi
Italy.
fruit.
Have you been to Italy? It's like 5 minutes down the road.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's
I
nice.
go there all the time. I have a little place there, but
Yeah.
it's amazing just going to the market and getting all the
Yeah.
produce. And then go there in the morning, buy it all there, bring it here to the market, sell it to you for $6 a piece.
That's what they do. That's what they do. But like, it
Just
just,
carnival,
just
don't
shows
eat-
you.
don't eat fruit.
Just for
Shows you.
fun.
But but a beer here, like you go down to the, especially in the summer, the beach clubs in the summer, like a beer here, a Corona is like €20.
If you can actually live modestly here, I live
I
modestly
agree.
here. I do not. I mean, if I go
You
out
just
with
don't go to the
friends,
beach clubs.
I mean,
You sneak in your own beers.
I'm gonna need bigger handbags
Yeah.
and start drinking beer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, I think you can actually live modestly here because what people don't know, yes, we have 38,000, or how many more, 4,000, let's say 40,000 residents, 8,000 Monegasque, but we have 60,000 people that come in to work here every day.
every day.
From France.
Every day from France
And
and
Italy.
Italy. So they are catered for
60,000.
60,000, way more than...
No wonder the traffic's bad.
Oh, it's real bad. Except
But we
when it's
kinda need
raining.
them. We need
It was raining today
somebody-
when we came in and I just flew in.
How great was that, though?
So good. Yeah, so nice to see us rain because it hasn't rained for like about 37 days. And
did you
piping
count
hot. I have actually been waiting for the rain. I never thought I'd pray for rain, but
Whoever prayed for rain
I know
and
I
that came
did.
in today,
like just so
thank
good.
you.
And now, but look, the rain's gone, and now we've got this again for 38 days.
Man, that's the first time I had a coffee on my balcony in about 37 days, honestly.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
In the
been
because it's
rain.
too hot.
so hot.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the thing. It's too hot to enjoy.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
We shouldn't be complaining.
we're
But
not.
Yeah.
okay, for people listening, like I think most people find the story as fascinating as we do in terms of where you've come from, where you've been
yes,
at,
we
and
have.
where you're going to. So, like, if you had any lessons that you've learned along the way, or like any messages for people who have or currently facing adversity, they want to have a crack at something, they've got an idea, do they move country? Do they just take a punt?
Yeah.
Like, what are the key learnings or things that have got you to where you are?
I think I've always picked things, and not I'm no, Elon Musk in any way, but I think when you think about moving your career and things, obviously try as much as you can, especially when you're younger. Just get that work and holiday visa, which I got to get here, and just try. Nothing, what's the worst that's going to happen? Experiences are going to teach you so much more than being at home and just hoping for the best. But I also find, as far as like building businesses and things, I think if you're entrepreneurial. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I tried. And English is not my first.
So your French is good.
Yeah.
And yours isn't that good.
It wasn't. I wasn't there. But in any case, I find that I think of businesses that are gonna like strive for, like always, like nobody wants to clean their dogs, guys. Like nobody wants to do that.
Nobody likes the dirty businesses in France.
AI
actually.
is not gonna...
Especially in Monaco. Well, there's no car washes here.
Yeah, there are.
Is it?
Yeah.
Where?
outside in
Well,
front.
not
we don't have
wash
space
yourself.
for that. but-
Yeah.
There's a couple, but that's all like
Yeah, but that's a good point. Nobody wants to get their hands dirty, right?
No, but not only here. Generally with pets, you like to do it because pets get angry at you and you love it so much. You don't want to do that. You actually want somebody else to do that. So that's why I thought, kind of moving forward, AI is not going to take over
No. Yeah, you're not going to get
that.
it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think just be a little bit, adventurous about what it is that people are never going to feel like doing. And I think the world is changing. AI is going to think about what AI is not going to do as far as, you're planning your career.
that's a good point, actually.
Oh, why are you so surprised?
Well, no, I just hadn't thought of it. Like, what is AI not going to do?
Because
Shitty
they're gonna take over the accounting and the legal advice and the things. That there's a lot. I flirted with
What? You flirted before?
well, today didn't we talk about that earlier?
I'm not sure. You flirted with...
The reason I was late, guys, because my app, what's it called, on your phone. When you download apps, it doesn't
Your
work.
personal assistant.
No, on your iPhone, what's it called?
Siri.
App Store. The App Store.
Yeah.
Doesn't work on my phone. I tried to fix it. Anyway, I ended up contacting Apple. They put me through to an assistant desk. I had to wait for them to to get in touch with me. So I'm waiting for a person. My sweet friend Mohammed replied, who had like 3 surnames after that. Like, I have to say, that's I'm sorry, now I'm thinking about it. It's very creative of them. So I'm having this chit chat with Mohammed, my friend Mohammed, helping me to sort out my apps. And, try this, madame, have you tried this? And how's your day going, by the way, while you try? Oh my God, so I'm putting on the flirt with the guy because I'm thinking it's going to help me out.
You just went into flirt mode, didn't you?
Straight away. But I have to say, historically, it has helped, sorted out 50% of my administrative problems in my life easily by flirting.
Was Mohammed?
Mohammed was really great, helping me out.
Was he receptive to the flirting?
He was kind. He was very sweet. Like, oh, thank you. And it was a little bit. It was borderline flirting.
Did you ask for a number?
No, I did not. No. Well, he knew my number because he had to.
Oh, of course. Shit, so you're hoping for a call from Mohammed?
But then when did it click that Mohammed was a robot?
Yeah, exactly. Did Mohammed tell you he was a robot? You asked Mohammed for a date, didn't you?
I should have. I wish I did. It could have been a greater story, but it was a good half an hour before I was like, it's a virtual assistant, and just because I went away for a bit, and it's just like, this assistant will be turned off automatically if you haven't.
So you didn't actually get.
I had no idea.
You're better off working with dogs.
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah.
But one thing I will say about Mila
robot guys
that she hasn't mentioned that I think is a huge part of her, like, just general success in life, whatever you deem success, is you treat everybody the same.
Yep.
And robots included.
And robots.
Yes, you do too. You love a robot.
And I think that's a really important thing to mention because, as you said, you've got clients and I'd say friends, these billionaires. You've got a friend like me who's a little old nobody, but I don't feel like any less valued.
Yeah, you treat everybody the same.
That's important.
You got to be humane. That's number one. People sense that on you.
Yes.
Dogs do too. Hey, they know you're kind.
So you have to be authentic.
Yeah.
Even in this part of the world where you would think that there's a lot of people that run a different game, right? Yeah.
Guys, I like to live my life thinking 95% of humanity are good people.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're driven by our own, circumstances, and we, being affected, and we act, whatever. But I just like to think people are kind.
You probably take that.
Do you not think that?
No, I'd say that's more your thinking than mine for sure.
Yeah.
Right?
I think people are kind.
Yeah, I think
that
people are
people
kind. Yeah, I think if you give people the time,
people are kind.
And like if you engage and you look people in the eyes and you give them a bit of time, in the end, that they might be a bit standoffish at first, but eventually their true nature comes out. You've just got to be patient. And that's probably
we just get
what we're
influenced
not.
sometimes by our circumstances,
Yeah,
we have stressful days, we have stressful wives, husbands, and babies. God knows what.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jobs, mortgages. But if you just give it a, that's my belief. That's how I'm facing humanity. Well, everyone's kind.
I think that's a nice way to wrap it. And, I'm pretty sure everyone would have found that pretty fascinating. I mean, I learned a lot about a place.
I love it.
I learned that I'll never be able to own a house in Monaco or a one-bedroom apartment even.
Do you know what's the average
it's a good thing I've got
cost
friends
for
here
a
that
studio in Monaco? Studio apartment, 1 room. Your bathroom's hanging off the window, basically, and sometimes you need to use the neighbours. And, your kitchen, if you call it that, is just some sort of a hallway with just like a sink. No, I'm kidding. But like a studio is...
How big? Like 30 square metres?
I'd say 30 is a good number because an average is between 20 to 40. So let's say 30. Take an average. No view, no nothing, because again, you have to... 1.8 million.
Euros.
Yes.
So 3.5 Kiwi.
Studio.
No car park. Nothing.
Car park costs you some more. You can live in a car park here.
No.
Yeah,
Jeez,
that's the average, guys. Last year.
We can dream.
We can.
We can only dream.
Well,
thank you so much for your time, Mila.
That
it was fascinating.
Sounds like we all need to move to New Zealand. Prices there.
Well, prices are expensive in New Zealand, but you get more bang for your buck than you do here, I can tell you.
And the kiwi fruit are cheaper.
Much cheaper. Much cheaper. And they're hard. Oopsie. Okie doke.
I've been waiting for that all day.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.